businesses as well.
Well, look, this government shutdown is no doubt going to impact everyday Americans, and it is the fault of the Democrats that we are in this position. And I know I relayed some programs that will be impacted. The vice president did as well, but I just want to make sure the American public understand what the Democrats have done to our government and our country. 1.3 million active duty troops will work now without pay. Critical food assistance for low-income women, infants, and children will now lapse. No new mothers or children are allowed to join this critical program because of the Democrats' decision to shut down the government. Telehealth services for seniors and in-home treatment options for Medicare patients will now come to an end. Nearly 50,000 members of the United States Coast Guard are going to have to work unpaid. Over 13,000 air traffic controllers will work without pay, as well as TSA agents, which will very likely create flight disruptions. And pay will now stop for over 150,000 federal law enforcement officers. These are not just numbers and statistics. These are real Americans who have families at home. And I saw some Democrat members today saying they're still going to accept their paychecks because they have 3 kids at home and they have mouths to feed. Well, so do these federal workers who those same Democrats just voted to shut down the government and turn off their pay. And we believe that's very unfair, and it's why the administration wants to see the government reopened.
GDP growth fell by about half a percentage point during the last government shutdown during the president's first term. Are you expecting a similar type of impact on GDP growth related to this potential protracted government shutdown?
Well, look, I think it's dependent upon how long this shutdown continues. So it's dependent on how long it takes Democrats to muster up the coverage, 5 of them, to vote in the best interest of our country, our citizens, and our economy. Eamon.
Thank you, Caroline. Yesterday, your administration took a 5% stake in Lithium Americas and a stake in the mine that they're working on, and you've taken stakes in other companies and revenue streams from other companies. Can you articulate the broader principle here? When does the administration see it as appropriate to demand equity stakes or revenue streams from American companies? And what other companies are you going to be demanding those from?
Well, look, this is a creative solution by the President of the United States to tackle our nation's crippling debt crisis. As I said earlier, we are $37 trillion, trillion with a T, in debt. And not only is the president effectively utilizing tariffs to bring in massive amounts of revenue, and there's billions of dollars coming in every month. I know you know that, even because you cover it on CNBC quite well. So the president is focused on how can the United States government make more money? How can we make our country wealthy and rich again? And cutting some of these unique creative deals with companies around the world and here at home is just one way the president is seeking to do that. And I know the Department of Energy just announced this new deal. It's another great deal for the American people and our government.
And on Lisa Cook,
sure, go ahead.
Lisa Cook,
Yeah.
The Supreme Court said today that she's going to be allowed to stay at the Federal Reserve Board until oral arguments in January. Does the president have any personal reaction to that? This has been something he's been very intent on.
Look, we have respect for the Supreme Court, but they're going to hear the actual case and make a determination on the legal argument in January. And we look forward to that because we maintain that she was fired well within the president's legal authority to do so. She was removed from the board, and we look forward to that case being fully played out at the Supreme Court. Reagan.
Caroline, I have one for you on EJ and Tony and one on the shutdown.
Sure.
CNN reported that Collins and Murkowski declined to meet with EJ and Tony, raising concerns that his nomination was in trouble. I'm wondering what message Collins and Murkowski are sending to the White House by not meeting with one of the president's nominees.
Well, look, EJ Antony remains a great ally of the president and our team. It became clear, unfortunately, that he was not going to have the votes, and so we will be announcing a replacement nominee very soon.
And on the shutdown, I'm just wondering how soon you could see cuts to the federal workplace, and if there's a specific agency that will experience the most cuts or be the focus.
Unfortunately, because the Democrats shut down the government, the president has directed his cabinet, and the Office of Management and Budget is working with agencies across the board to identify where cuts can be made, and we believe that layoffs are imminent. They are, unfortunately, a consequence of this government shutdown. Ed.
So you talk about the layoffs being imminent. Is there a percentage then of reduction that the White House is looking for of workforce?
I don't have a specific percentage for you.
Can I ask what about China, if I could? So China has not made one soybean purchase this year in the United States. I talked to a farmer yesterday who has about 1,000 acres in Iowa and says this is just killing her. Now, the president has been talking to President Xi. Could China not buying agriculture affect a possible meeting with the president? Would he not meet with Xi because China has refused to buy soybeans from the U.S.?
Look, I don't want to speak for the president and make a determination on that from this podium, but what I can tell you is that supporting America's farmers and doing what's best for them is at the top of the president's priority list, and it's at the top of the list for this administration right now. There have been several very high-level meetings on this very topic. We want to help our farmers, and we're exploring the best ways to do that, and I would anticipate there will be more to come on that very soon.
You can send a message to the Chinese president.
Look, I just shared that message. The president wants what's best for America's farmers. Sean.
Hey, Carolyn.
Hi.
Two things to ask you about.
Sure.
First thing, I want to ask about this video that the president posted the other day. It was an AI deepfake of himself talking about something called med beds. What was he trying to communicate to the public there, and why did he delete it?
I think the president saw the video and posted it, and then took it down. And he has the right to do that. It's his social media. He's incredibly transparent, as you all know. You hear from him directly on social media. He likes to share memes. He likes to share videos. He likes to repost things that he sees other people post on social media as well. And I think it's quite refreshing that we have a president who is so open and honest directly himself. Many a times on Truth, you are hearing directly from the President of the United States.
And second thing, how did the White House decide that it is appropriate for Jared Kushner to be working on matters that involve Qatar, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia, 3 countries that combined have given him more than $2.5 billion for his investment firm?
I think it's, frankly, despicable that you're trying to suggest that it's inappropriate for Jared Kushner, who is widely respected around the world and has great trust in relationships with these critical partners in these countries, to strike a 20-point comprehensive detailed peace plan that no other administration would ever be able to achieve. And so Jared is donating his energy and his time to our government, to the President of the United States, to secure world peace, and that is a very noble thing. And this is a peace plan that has not just been accepted by Israel, but it has been applauded by Muslim and Arab countries around the world. It has been applauded by European leaders around the world. Virtually everyone in the world is supportive of this plan that Jared Kushner offered his time to help put together alongside our special envoy Witkoff, the Vice President, the President of the United States, Secretary Rubio, and the President's entire national security team. We are very proud of that plan, and we hope Hamas will accept it because it will lead to a more peaceful and prosperous Middle East.
Two questions. One, we're talking a lot about these layoffs and hypotheticals, but Speaker Johnson earlier today said that there is a proposal from the White House that House Republicans are expected to hear this afternoon about these mass layoffs. Can you tell us what is in that proposal? What agencies, what programs, what jobs?
What he's referring to is a proposal that our Office of Management and Budget Director, Russ Vought, is going to be proposing to the House Republican Conference. He's going to kind of walk them through what this unfortunately is going to look like so they can discuss it with their constituents back home in their respective districts. So I don't want to get ahead of the Office of Management and Budget, but I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that very soon. Look, we have to put a plan in place. It would be irresponsible of us not to take a look at each and every agency and get an understanding of what we're going to have to do moving forward to do the best we can in the midst of this government shutdown.
Thanks, Caroline. Just on that point, though, Russ Vought told House members, according to our notice reporting, that RIFs would happen in 2 days. Already, we know that some have been sitting out from the U.S. Patent Office. So I wonder, one, this administration continues to say that they don't want to lay people off, but
welcome everyone. Welcome into the live morning news reaction here in the Random Thoughts Indoor Studio.
If the government reopens, will those
We're not getting recommended you guys on the YouTube algorithm anymore.
If it reopens pretty quickly.
So double tap that screen and share this out.
And it's because the Democrats have put us into this position. If the Democrats did not vote to shut down the government, we would not be standing up here talking about
Trying to quiet us up.
We'd be talking about all the other news stories going on in the world in our country. We'd be talking about all of the great things that this administration is doing to uplift Americans across the country. But unfortunately, the Vice President of the United States and I have to come out here today to talk about a government shutdown that the Democrats put us in this position. And the second question, Joey.
Thanks, Caroline. I'm just trying to clarify the timing of these potential layoffs to federal workers. You said imminent. The Vice President seemed to say in a couple of days. It looks like Russ Vought maybe said in 2 days. When would these layoffs begin?
2 days, imminent, very soon. You will expect more announcements right now.
Is it just unclear, or are you waiting?
No, it's not unclear. All of those things are very synonymous with one another. These rifts are unfortunately going to happen very soon.
And it'll definitely
Dasha, go ahead.
We've been talking about the Affordable Care Act, enhanced premium tax credits, and sort of the politics of it all, right? But this is a very real, tangible impact that American people will feel. The Kaiser Family Foundation
Welcome in, everyone.
says
Welcome in. Grab your baby.
ACA enhanced premium tax credits. Without them, premiums will go up 114% on average. 19 million of the 24 million people who rely on the coverage are in states that President Trump won. Is he concerned what will happen to those families if this tax credit expires? And aside from the shutdown, is there a plan to keep those premiums down?
Look, as the vice president just said, we are more than happy to have this conversation. The president and the vice president and this team are more than happy to have that conversation with Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill, but it cannot happen right now. Right now, we need to reopen the United States federal government because people are going without pay. You have thousands of federal workers who have to show up to work and not get paid, and that's an unfortunate situation the Democrats have put us in. Then we can discuss this very important issue of healthcare that the president absolutely wants to fix. As I mentioned yesterday, he took But those premiums do not expire until the end of the year. It's October 1st right now. And so we have a few months to have that conversation. And it's irresponsible of the Democrat Party to try to convince the American people that that conversation has to happen right now. No, what needs to happen right now is the reopening of the United States federal government. And then this administration will be happy to work with Democrats in good faith to come to a policy determination. But one red line the government has already made clear, this administration has already made clear, this administration is never going to support taxpayer-funded benefits going to illegal aliens. And we think it's despicable that that was one of the first proposals that Democrats put in their funding proposal, in their CR. The Republican CR was a clean CR that would keep the government open. Democrats have voted for it 13 times in the past. The Democrats put this poison pill in there, this partisan pill. Why? Because they are beholden to the far left radicals in their party. And you already see three moderate Democrats having the courage to say no. We need to keep the government open, and then we can have these conversations about health care. Mary.
I'm not too sure why it's not working for us today.
I'm actually surprised it didn't come up sooner. So if Schumer is catering to the demands of Ocasio-Cortez, can you share whether the White House views this as cracks in Schumer's leadership, and would the vice president be open to meeting with someone like her if she is assuming this role in the Democratic Party?
I'll let the vice president speak on that himself. I think that certainly Senator Schumer was not expecting three moderates to break with him last night. In fact, last night you heard Senator Schumer say he can't guarantee that he will be able to hold his caucus together. And so again, we encourage Democrats to have the courage to do the right thing, do what you have done 13 times previously, and vote for this clean continuing resolution to keep the government funded. As for what the Trump administration and President Trump is going to do, we'll continue to be very public that we want the government to be open. And as the vice president said, we'll continue to work in good faith with anyone on Capitol Hill who wants to do right by the American people. Thank you all so much. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Encourage all Americans across the country, call your Democrat senator.
Step by step, just like we did in D.C. Who do you think should be next after Memphis? We also sent them into Chicago on a sort of a moderate basis.
President Donald Trump's use of the National Guard is setting up a legal clash testing presidential power. Troops are already deployed to Los Angeles and Washington, and they're meant to target illegal immigration and crime. At a recent gathering of military brass, Trump called for using U.S. cities as a training ground for troops and warned of a
enemy from within.
Control over a state's National Guard typically falls to the governor unless units are federalized, as they were in California over the governor's objections. In D.C., Trump commands the Guard himself. Trump also said he would invoke the Insurrection Act if necessary. That would allow him to dispatch active duty military in states that are unable to put down an insurrection or are defying the law.
We have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, Sure, I'd do that.
Trump's opponents have relied on the court system to slow down his agenda, with the Republican-controlled Congress largely not checking his expansion of power.
Step by step, just like we did in D.C. Who do you think should be next after Memphis? We also sent them into Chicago on a sort of a moderate basis.
President Donald Trump's use of the National Guard is setting up a legal clash.
What do you guys think about all this?
Troops are already
Drop it in
deployed
the
to Los
comments
Angeles
below.
and Washington, and they're meant to target illegal immigration and crime. At a recent gathering of military brass, Trump called for using U.S. cities as a training ground for troops and warned of a
Enemy from within.
control over a state's National Guard typically falls to the governor unless units are federalized, as they were in California, over the governor's objections. In D.C., Trump commands the Guard himself. Trump also said he would invoke the Insurrection Act if necessary. That would allow him to dispatch active duty military in states that are unable to put down an insurrection or are defying the law.
We have an Insurrection Act for a reason. If I had to enact it, I'd do that. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up, sure, I'd do that.
Trump's opponents have relied on the court system to slow down his agenda, with the Republican-controlled Congress largely not checking his expansion of power.
Step by step, just like we did in D.C. Who do you think should be next after Memphis? We also sent them into Chicago on a sort of a moderate basis.
President Donald Trump's use of the National Guard is setting up a legal clash, testing presidential power. Troops are already deployed to Los Angeles and Washington, and they're meant to target illegal immigration and crime. At a recent gathering of military brass, Trump called for using U.S. cities as a training ground for troops and warned of a
Enemy from within.
control over a state's National Guard typically falls to the governor unless units are
Trump calls Canadian Prime Minister Carney a world-class leader, but also very nasty. Let's listen in.
I think he's a great prime minister. I mean, he could represent me anytime. I will tell you, I'm not saying that because he is a very strong, very good leader. He's a nice man, but he could be nasty. He could be very nasty. Maybe as nasty as anybody. I think Canada. Let me put it this way. I can tell you this because I deal with lots of leaders all over the world. He is a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants.
World-class leader.
And, I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
So then what's holding things up? If he's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man, too. I think he's a great prime minister. I mean, he could represent me anytime. I will tell you, I'm not saying that because he is a very strong, very good leader. He's a nice man, but he could be nasty. He could be very nasty, maybe as nasty as anybody. I think Canada. Let me put it this way. I can tell you this because I deal with lots of leaders all over the world. He is a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants. And I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
So then what's holding things up? If he's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man, too.
Simon's got the pitch for what
She's ready to be the coach in the movie.
need to be the
Come
coach.
on.
Simon thinks I should be the coach.
Just say you're Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
I'm Jonathan. What happens to Jonathan Rhys-Meyers?
It can be
Assistant coach?
You know, but he could have been like, maybe. Can't he have had a scandal?
Maybe he's had a scandal.
I think it's a scandal. We need to figure out what happened.
To Jess and how
maybe you meet.
Maybe we both need to be coaching. Maybe she's coaching
but
the
an opposite team. I think that's the thing. You guys meet in Abu Dhabi at your talent scouts. You're not coaches. It's like Moneyball.
It's like Moneyball.
Yeah.
Simon's got the pitch for what
She's ready to be the coach.
Évidemment, je suis inquiète. Je suis inquiète parce que les gens n'arrivent pas à s'accorder, à se parler.
Can't talk to each other, and everyone is pulling the blanket to their side, and obviously it leads
ça donne des espèces de
two kinds of
lutte d'ego.
Ego struggles.
Certainement la même chose.
It will certainly be the same, maybe.
Peut-être devoir
Friends and relatives gather at Nova Festival site on second anniversary of attack.
I'm here at the site of the Nova Music Festival, where on October 7th, 2023, almost 400 people were killed and dozens abducted. Today, the second anniversary of the attacks, thousands of family members and friends gathered here today, sharing stories of their loved ones and being together in the last place where they were alive.
אנחנו חיים את היום הזה בחוסר ידיעה, שזה הדבר הכי שכואב לנו. אין לנו מושג מה קרה, ובמשך כל הזמן הזה אנחנו מחפשים אינפורמציה על מה שקרה באותו יום.
That awful, guys.
This is Dalton Stevens.
فقدنا الحياة اللحظات الجميلة. صارت حياتنا كلها جحيم في جحيم. احنا كل يوم قتل، قصف، موت، استشهاد. فمش عارفين ايش الحياة هذه اللي صارت. احنا حياتنا اصبحت
7:08 this evening, our units were dispatched to a vehicle accident with extrication. In the notes, it
Brutal
stated
helicopter
that there was a
crash.
helicopter that had crashed on US 50. The first engine got on scene and recognized that there were three crew members from a Reach helicopter that had gone down on the freeway. There were no patients that they were transporting at that particular point. They had just offloaded a patient at UC Davis and were flying back. There was one female who was trapped. At that point, there was no truck on scene for extrication tools, just a fire engine. So that captain quickly sequestered the help of multiple civilians to come over and lift this helicopter off of that victim. There was no active flames. There was a large column of smoke that initially came out of that helicopter from video that we have seen, but no fire hazard at that point.
Humpback whale swallows kayaker. Whoa. Yo.
Sí, yo pensé
Wow,
que me
get
había
out,
comido
get
ya
out.
y que me había tragado, pero claro, yo sentía que quizás era una orca, habíamos
No, the
estado hablando
whale
de
takes
orcas
them
poco
out, bro.
antes, entonces tenía eso en la cabeza. Pero ya cuando salí entendí que claro, probablemente era por curiosidad que se había acercado
Yeah,
la
lucky
ballena,
you,
o
bro.
quizás como para comunicar algo.
That's a rubber dinghies, and it looks like. The
Sí,
whale
en
just
un
took him.
principio cuando pensé que había muerto fue como
Yeah, you
claro,
died, yeah, I
mucho
bet.
terror porque pensé que ya no podía hacer nada, ¿no? Y cuando salí y empecé a flotar, ahí sentí el miedo de verdad de que
Army football player and his dad save a man from flames after car crash near West Point.
Come on, get him out.
Holy.
Stay.
All the power lines are down too, you can see there.
What car is this? That's your car. What car was that? It's white. It's a white SUV. You hear it? That's the tires popping. That's the car? Yeah. That wasn't my car. I promise you that was the
That's
car
your
you
car.
was in. How much have you had to drink?
I didn't have nothing to drink, period. Anything. I didn't drink anything today. You gotta be kidding me.
How you feeling inside?
I'm feeling fine, but I didn't have anything today.
Okay. You ain't taking any medicine?
No, none.
Well, guess what? The Lord is with you.
I was just thinking, I'm just grateful that we got him out, honestly. Because I really don't think that anybody else was going to, because when we pulled up, there was already somebody standing there, but they saw the electric wire, and I don't think that they wanted to go get him. Because that could have gone totally different for him. So, look at that. I was just about to say, look, they got the fire in there.
Holy. A wave of arrest in West Bank here. Ramahala, West Bank. Looks like Rio de Janeiro here, guys. Well, look at Rio de Janeiro. Terrorism cannot be elevated to the status of legitimate struggle for a people's liberation. Oh, these poor people here. Terrorism is a crime against humanity. That's why we brought this sign in English and Portuguese against terrorism anywhere on the planet. We are here not because we are Zionists, although we are non-Zionists. We are here because the Israelis who killed had the right to live. Next up here, Trump talks love and conflict with the Canadian Prime Minister.
We have great love for each other. I love this. I love Canada and the people of Canada.
Trump loves
and Mark
Canada.
Feels the
Let's
same
go.
way about here. The problem we have is that they want a car company and I want a car company, meaning the U.S. wants a car company. And they want steel and we want steel. And, you know, so in other countries, they're very far away. And there's no problem. You can compete and you can do. We don't like to compete because we sort of hurt each other when we compete. And so we have a natural conflict. It's a natural business conflict. Nothing wrong with it.
Let's be clear about the relationship as it stands right now. We are the second largest trading partner of the United States. We do a lot of trade going across the border where we're cooperating, first thing. Secondly, we are the largest foreign investor in the United States. $500 billion in the last 5 years alone.
Let's go, you guys.
Probably
Double tap that screen, like the live stream today so I can continue bringing you guys live breaking news every morning. Subscribe to the channel as well, please.
Thirdly, there are areas
helps get us out there. This morning we're having a hard time getting out there, folks. YouTube doesn't want to put us out there, so double tap that screen, like the live stream, guys. Get this out, share this out.
We have to come to an agreement that works, but there are more areas where we are stronger together, and that's what we're focused on. And we're going to get the right deal for America, right deal, obviously, from my perspective, for Canada.
So USMCA, are the two of you both committed to seeing it through in the renegotiation of that deal that you made?
Well, we can renegotiate it, and that would be good, or we could just do different deals. We're allowed to do different deals if we want. We might make deals that are better for the individual countries. I don't care. I want to make whatever the best deal is for this country, and also very much with Canada in mind. Say it?
Is there anything that the Prime Minister has done that's making it more difficult or easier to reach a deal?
No, I think he's a great Prime Minister. I mean, he could represent me anytime. I will tell you, I'm not saying that because he's no, he is a very strong, very good leader. He's a nice man, but he can be nasty. He can be very nasty. Maybe as nasty as anybody. I think Canada, let me put it this way. I can tell you this.
Yeah, let us know how.
Because I deal with lots of leaders all over the world. He is a world-class leader. He's a man that knows what he wants, and I'm not surprised to see that he won the election and won it substantially, and I would think he's more popular now. He's a good man. He does a great job, and he's a tough negotiator.
So
Doggy, welcome in. Yeah, you have a good one too, brother. You have a good one too.
So then what's holding things up? If he's a great man and you want to do a deal with Canada, why aren't you?
Because I want to be a great man too. Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. That could have been. I think you got that one. That could have been good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Is it the White House's position that furloughed workers should be
Ann Arbor, Michigan. Police chase a 12-year-old boy operating a stolen forklift. Let's check this out here.
Still going. Just move the stop sign in front of me. No traffic, no pedestrians. Speed 17.
Doggy, yeah. Yeah, let's go. Double tap, let's go, guys.
Pull over now.
Today we're having a slow stream today, Doggy. I don't know what's going on here today. It's not getting recommended out in the vertical live feed, so I think maybe because of the news and stuff, they don't want the information out there, guys. YouTube be playing, I told you that. That's why I say double tap, like, and subscribe. Look at this, guys. We got one of these forklift things going.
So once you're hired and you're part of our team and we feel comfortable with you and we feel like you're one of us, we'll go. Scare School really fears an art and be something else.
They come here to be scared. It's Halloween. It's a job.
Count the tips over the last 2.5 decades.
Scare School. Okay. Check this out here. Watch your dogs and the batteries, guys. Dog chews on a lithium-ion battery here, and it starts a house fire.
Today, I want to bring to your attention a critical issue that has been affecting fire departments across the United States. Fires caused by lithium-ion batteries. Lithium-ion batteries are known for storing a significant amount of energy in a compact space. However, when this energy is released uncontrollably, it can generate heat, produce flammable and toxic gases, and even lead to explosions. These incidents can occur due to various reasons, such as exposure to extreme heat, physical damage to the battery, overcharging, or even using incompatible charging equipment. Just recently, a home fire in the Tulsa area was sparked by a pet chewing through the housing of a portable lithium-ion battery intended for charging cell phones. Many individuals keep these batteries within their homes for convenience, unaware of the potential dangers they pose. Fortunately, the pets involved were able to escape unharmed through a dog door. However, the outcome could have been much worse if there had been no means of escape or if the family was asleep at the time.
Californians have started voting on a special election that will conclude on November 4th that could have big implications for President Donald Trump and control of Congress. It's called Proposition 50. And it's a proposal to create as many as 5 new Democratic House districts in the state. If Democrats succeed and they win those elections, that could potentially swing control of Congress from Republican to Democrats. Governor Gavin Newsom and other supporters are saying they're trying to stop President Trump from bringing elections in Texas and other Republican states.
Everything I give you today, please. So California is just doing this in response to Texas. And we are worried that it is about voter suppression.
But the opponents are saying no. The Democrats are trying to take more power for themselves in a state that's already heavily Democratic.
That fair representation will be extremely harmed.
USA! USA!
The whole concept of a representative government, of our government, is that the people choose representatives based upon your community that represent their interests, their values. These districts will tear apart those.
Donald Trump, you have poked the bear, and we will punch back.
So we concluded what I think was a successful, positive, substantive conversation with President Trump on trade issues, on a number of other international issues, but the focus very much today, both in the Oval Office conversation and then again in the lunch in the cabinet room, was on the trading relationship. The conversation, as I said, was more detailed than previous discussions. It concluded with the President and the Prime Minister directing us, me and my colleagues and the President, his cabinet secretaries who were there, Ambassador Greer, Secretary Lutnick, and others, to continue the conversation and to quickly land deals.
Yeah, I don't know why. I feel like it's shadow banned or something today, Doggy.
In areas where
not getting nobody in here.
Areas would be steel and aluminum and energy. So these sectors are amongst the ones that have faced the most significant challenges from the 232 tariffs. And in the conversation today, we talked about ways to quickly arrive at a deal that will bring, we hope, a better circumstance to both countries in these sectors of significant importance. That would be obviously the first step that we hope to conclude quickly in what would then be a conversation that would allow us to make progress on other sectors as well.
The Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences has today decided to award the 2025 Nobel Prize in Physics to John Clark, University of California at Berkeley, USA, Michel Devoré, Yale University and University of California at Santa Barbara, USA, and John Martinez, University of California at Santa Barbara, USA, for the discovery of macroscopic quantum mechanical tunneling and energy quantization in an electric circuit.
Those were people I hadn't heard from for decades. I practically collapsed. No, I was completely stunned. And I was something that I had never, ever dreamed of in my entire life. Michelle was my postdoc, and John was my graduate student at the time. Yes, that's right. What we came up with is the idea that you could actually have much larger objects that were able to tunnel. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
I was rather preparing myself to not receive the prize. I'm very happy for my wife. I'm happy for my colleagues that, they are all receiving the prize.
My wife came and woke me up. And so my wife woke me up a little bit before 6 in the morning. And, she had, heard from you a couple hours earlier, but she wanted to make sure I got enough sleep today, which actually, she understands me that's important. What we did is we built some electrical circuits where the current and voltages actually obey the laws of quantum mechanics in detail. And it really showed that quantum mechanics just wasn't some phenomenon on how atoms work, but it's actually very general. Congratulations. Now it's a huge field. Thousands of scientists are employed trying to build a quantum computer. And, I just think it's great that all this, came out of this basic research.
This is the only capital in the world where you can see lions in the wild without leaving the city. It may seem vast, but Nairobi National Park is pretty tiny by conservation standards, and its wildlife migrates in and out of the park through its unfenced southern border. This area used to be open grazing land. Now it's increasingly suburban, but the wildlife still moves through here.
Right now, I'm very close to a front line that exists between wildlife like this lion and where humans live. This lion doesn't know the difference between where the park starts and where it ends. This has led to conflict.
We caught this lioness on camera when she killed our sheep. There have been human deaths too. Daniel Rono lost his brother Simon 6 years ago.
Brutal.
Man-eating lions are typically shot by Kenya Wildlife Service, but the lion that Simon was found with was never identified. Only 2,000 lions remain in Kenya, and for those of us who live here, sharing space with them is both a rare privilege and a constant source of worry. Hopefully, Kenya's plans to create a migratory corridor will allow the wildlife here to continue to thrive while keeping humans safe.
We are here at our tech house, and there's a lot going around us. This is the premiere of Submerged Beyond the Render, and just a little bit about our tech house. We were actually New York's first home dedicated specifically to digital art and connecting digital artists with audiences in a way that was really never done before. So when you think about listening to a song versus going to a concert, reading a script versus going to the play, this is really a place where digital art comes to life. Artists create work through technology And it's a specific medium because when you think of art, you think of something that is very organic and free form. And through these digital tools, artists are able to do things that you can't really do just with a paintbrush or pastels. You can see the space is just absolutely alive around us. And using a 3D canvas, you really feel like you're stepping into the work. Our Tech House is the place that people can come to experience the art forms that are typically restricted to just your phone screen. And it's transformed in a way that it's for your grandma, it's for your first date, it's for that family activity. There's really just so much to uncover in this space, and our core mission is to educate, empower, and inspire others to engage more with this art form.
Actuellement.
Nye bɛ jama min na esantigiw gɛlɛya bɛ population kan sisan dɔɔnin nka esantigiw gɛlɛya in parce que i bɛ yɔrɔ caman yaala fɔlɔ an tun b'a sɔrɔ buteliw bolo cogo min a tɛ sɔrɔ buteliw bolo bi f'i ka na station na hali n'i nana station na station bɛɛ tɛ dɛ station kelen kelen dɔw de bɛ yen i bɛ essence sɔrɔ.
Station falennen ni guerre bɛ kɛlɛ kɔnɔ ni kɛlɛ falenna a fana b'aw ka position falen sisan comme citernes bɛ ka bɔ a convoi la ka taa ɲɔgɔn fɛ u bɛ tila ka sigi convoi la donc o temps kɔnɔna la donc obligatoirement c'est-à-dire essence bɛ carburant bɛ manquer dɔɔnin jamana kɔnɔ donc o de nana ni problème mais an b'a dɔn kɔni a mana kɛ cogo o cogo an ka autorité bɛ solution sɔrɔ a la et puis nous-mêmes on est prêt an b'a dɔn bien k'a fɔ an bɛ guerre de kɔnɔ donc a mana kɛ fɛn o fɛn ye an pɛrɛnnen don ka assumer quoi donc hali ni carburant hali ni an bɛ moto jɔ ka taama sen na on est prêt pour faire ça.
אני יודעת שכואב לך, ואני לא יכולה לחבק. אני שומעת אותך לוחש לי, בואי אמא, ואני לא יכולה להגן.
אני זוכרת את המקום המדויק שבו עמדתי כשהודיעו לי שנחטפת. את הרגע שבו האדמה נשמטה מתחת לרגליי, וכבר שנתיים כל האור הלך לו, ואתה בחושך רועד שם במנהרות.
כי שוב אוקטובר, ואני מתפללת, לא עוד אמהות שכולות, לא עוד ילדים מתים. אני כאן לבקש בשמכן, בשם אלה שאיבדו הכל, בשם אלה שעדיין אפשר להציל. אנחנו לא רוצים נקמה, אנחנו רוצים תיקון. הגיע הזמן להחזיר את כולם הביתה. הגיע הזמן שהיום הזה יסתיים ושנחזור לחיות את כולם.
The messages are isolate the terrorist state of Israel, condemn it, and protect the people of Palestine, and act to prosecute the perpetrators and those who are complicit in the genocide.
Today is the mark 2 years of the genocide happening in Gaza. So I'm here to support Gaza and Palestine. If they're offended by this, it says more about them than it says about any of us here. If you think that me protesting for human rights of a group of people is offensive towards you, then that is your problem. That is not any of our problem. We are for humans. We don't want to kill humans. This is what we're protesting. We're not protesting anything else. We're not protesting to hate any other group of people.
This is AP News Minute. Israelis mourn the victims of the October 7th attack while visiting the site of the Nova Music Festival. 400 revelers were killed here and dozens taken hostage by Hamas 2 years ago. U.S. President Donald Trump talked trade with Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney at the White House. Trump's comments during the meeting suggest he's willing to let uncertainty over the agreement's future linger. Lawmakers grilled Attorney General Pam Bondi over growing criticism that she's weaponizing the Justice Department. Bondi flatly refused to answer questions time and again as Democrats pressed her on politically charged investigations. And the supermoon lit up skies across North America overnight as the full moon moves closer to Earth in its orbit. As a result, the moon appears larger and brighter. October's supermoon is the first of 3 this year.
Like we see here in the news every day from our prime minister and our premiers, that you never know. We just have to roll with it. The president of the U.S. can change his mind day to day, week to week, hour to hour. So
there's not a single customer ever that when you tell them you have to raise the price, that they're going to pay by 30% to cover a tariff. Not one customer I've met so far or heard of is thrilled about it or is like, oh, that's great. Yeah, sure. Just add it to the bill. Nobody does that. They're trying to bring the manufacturing base back to the United States. That's the theory of it. So it's important to any country to have a manufacturing base of products that you consume on a regular basis. So specifically to Canada and the United States, but specifically to Canada, hockey is our passion. It is something that is deeply rooted in the community and in families. The most common piece of equipment that people use in the game of hockey is a stick. Having a factory that makes hockey sticks in Canada really serves 2 purposes. 1, it contributes to the manufacturing base, but 2, has the legacy and the tug of the heartstrings of the game that we all love.